Welcome back to another episode of yours truly.
I don't know what to say. I get so like, okay, we're starting, and then I'm like,
And you just are lost for words. Well,
welcome back.
it's us.
It's Monday.
It's Monday morning. And we're here ready to chat about a couple of things.
Oh my
Pop
gosh.
culture
wait,
related,
wait.
but oh, okay. I'm so sorry.
I have sad, you probably heard, but this is sad news for you. JLo canceled her tour.
Oh my gosh. I was devastated.
I know you were like planning on camping out. Like
I had GA pit tickets. I was ready to be front and center for JLo, and she had the nerve to cancel.
I know.
Her
I'm like,
tour.
why are you canceling?
For her
It's
mental,
almost like
for her well-being.
No. It's almost like no one was buying tickets
No
or something.
one.
Yeah.
I don't know whether or not to feel bad. I don't, because I think she's a very successful person.
I think she needs
she's
to
fine.
stop trying to be relevant.
I agree.
I think she needs to stop.
We've talked about this, and I feel this way about a lot of celebrities. I think this is the way they have to have their career paths go. They were very, very famous in the early 2000s.
Yeah.
You need to stop trying to stay relevant.
Within that niche, too.
Within that niche.
Maybe try something new or not.
Yeah.
Anything.
I feel like they need to take a break.
Yeah.
And go somewhat off grid. And then if you want to make a comeback, I think, especially with JLo, she could do a Vegas residency. Mm-hmm. And I think if she did a big production, people would turn out for a Vegas residency. But
True.
I think the touring
days,
I think they might be done for a while. You got to make people miss you.
True. And yeah, I just think, especially as young pop stars get older, I think you gotta change the name of the game a little bit. You can't really, you have to
evolve. To reinvent yourself.
And that's tricky to do. I feel like sometimes you fall flat. And so, or try something totally new.
Yeah.
She has gone the movie TV route, and
she's good at.
Yeah, she's good at it. I feel like maybe
the early 2000s rom-coms that she's in are good.
Totally. So yeah, I think she needs to take a break.
Did you hear her and Ben are off again?
Oh god.
They broke up. And so I just think she has some issues. And I don't really know enough about her.
Yeah.
But
you mean you didn't watch the documentary?
Based on the trailer of the documentary that was based on her life, I do think there's some issues that are unresolved.
Yeah.
And needs to be sorted through.
You basically can watch the whole thing in the preview.
In the trailer.
In the preview.
I was did I watch the whole movie? And also apparently it's only 45 minutes long anyway.
Yeah.
So it's a visual album movie, but weird. And I think she has issues. But I think the same about Justin Timberlake. I think a Vegas residency would be perfect for him. Mm-hmm. And then, Katy Perry just did it, and I think it was really successful.
Yeah, I feel like Katy Perry is doing a decent job at, changing, staying relevant within the pop world, but, not doing what she did in, 2010.
Yeah.
She's not releasing, pop albums, but she's, on American Idol and, doing things that are still there, but maybe a more an adult version of that.
Yeah.
And I think she's doing a pretty good job.
I agree. It's funny, there are so many musical celebs in my mind that try to do all these different routes, and I'm I think you are not the master of all trades, and you should stick and be a master of one.
Yeah.
I do love Selena Gomez, but I just the music world I don't think is her realm.
So did she?
She started as an actress,
acting.
so
okay.
I was she's
okay.
good at that.
Yeah.
But even then, I don't know how good she is at that anymore.
I think she was pretty popular in that.
I like her in Murders in the Building.
But I don't think she was the star.
No. Well, she's I guess one of main three, but I definitely think Steve Martin and Martin
I think the
Short
other two
were
are
like the funnier
why
ones.
people were like
Yeah,
watching.
like
It wasn't like, oh my gosh, Selena Gomez is in this
chemistry
show.
is great, and the three of them have great chemistry.
Yeah.
But like, and then she does music, and then also her beauty, and now she's like cooking. And I just think sometimes when they try to do it all, it cheapens a lot of it for me, where I then think talent-wise, they're like halfway on all of them instead of being really good at one thing.
And I feel like music is one where you have to like, because I feel like you could do like beauty and like cooking. You could do like the little things. And I think that's a good avenue if you're coming out of like a really intense music industry and come out and do like these fun smaller things. But if you're also trying to do music, I feel like it doesn't balance well.
I agree. I think for her beauty and like her beauty line is her best.
Her beauty line's good.
Is like top tier. Like that's what she's best at.
Yeah.
And I think she's really good at like advocating and like being a spokesperson for that world. But I would say her acting and like music, it like cheapens it for me because she excels so much on that other avenue.
Yeah.
JLo, I don't really know what is her niche. Like I feel like it was like dancing, acting, music.
Yeah.
She was also a judge on American Idol at one point.
She was.
I don't think she was a very good judge. I feel like I don't know. She's so weird to me.
Yeah. I never really have been into her music, but I will. Yeah, those rom-coms she was in.
Like The Wedding Planner? Made in Manhattan?
Yes.
Those are the only two I feel like
I feel
recall.
like in my head there's so many, but maybe not.
But even I remember watching Made in Manhattan for the first time, and she is like this Amish-looking, like...
Oh my God, yeah.
Conservative, just like with like a tight bun and like wearing like sweater. Like it was just a very weird role. And I was like, JLo. Interesting.
She's also in Monster-in-Law. That one
I haven't seen that.
That one I like is pretty funny, but Jane Fonda is the funny one. I think that's who the lady is. Yeah.
Your brother loved the shotgun wedding one that she was just in with Josh Duhamel, I think.
My brother?
Not that brother. The other brother.
I'm shocked.
I think.
I'm shocked.
I feel like I thought Zion was like, yeah, this is good.
Huh.
I could be wrong.
Sometimes he's real out of pocket with his recommendations.
Imagining things now.
I did not see that.
Maybe your parents said it.
I could see that.
I think your mom.
My parents also. There's some Netflix JLo movie. It's about space or AI or something.
They love JLo.
And I'm like, they're like, oh yeah, we watched the new JLo movie, and I'm like, what?
She did cancel her
summer
tour.
In other news,
it's devastating.
More devastated.
I saw that and I said, not surprised. I was not surprised.
I don't think those arenas were the slightest bit sold out.
Yeah, she was gonna come here. I think like her tickets were on the. You kind of know your tickets aren't selling per se when Live Nation does the $25 concert ticket weeks, and like a lot of yours are on there like for even like good seats.
Yeah.
Avril Lavigne was on there. She was here yesterday.
She did a good job at going dark though.
But like, has she done anything to like bring back a comeback?
No, I think maybe it's on the press.
New music?
I think it's on coming. Like
maybe.
I think, because I have been. She was on Call Her Daddy.
Avril Lavigne was
like somewhat recently.
That's crazy.
So I think maybe she's like. Maybe not like coming back with like, hey, here's all this new music, but like maybe coming back into culture.
All I know is I feel so passionately about like I like to buy into the bits about conspiracy theories because I think it's funny. And I think like it's funny to like not piss people off, but like God bless my dad. It's easy to like get my dad irritated with conspiracy theories. Because he just like reacts. And I'm always like, yeah, that moon landing was like so fake. And my dad's like, Lucy, you don't know what you're talking about. And it's just easy and like funny to like think. Or like that the earth is flat. Like I don't believe genuinely in really like any conspiracy theories. Yeah. However, the Avril Lavigne one, I believe wholeheartedly.
That she is dead?
Genuinely 100%. 98% of me believes that is a true conspiracy theory.
So you think this person is not her?
And for all of you listening who are like, what is this conspiracy theory? Let me tell you about it for a second.
I don't buy it. I don't think so. I don't think so.
No, I found out about it when I was a senior in high school. And me and my friends like dove and we were like a part of this group. And I still just believe in it. So they believe that Avril Lavigne was like this huge up and coming artist and like released her first album and it went huge. And this was like all the way back in 2003. And then some personal things in her life happened and she got really depressed. And during this time though, like when she became really huge overnight success, she had hired a lookalike named Melissa. So Melissa would go out into the like public and be like the paparazzi fake because Avril Lavigne hated it. She didn't like being in the public eye. This has now been like 7 years since I really read up on the story. So I'm starting, as I'm saying it out loud, I can understand the ridiculousness of what it sounds like. But she had hired a stunt double to be her in public and like get paparazzi shots because she like wasn't one to go out in the public eye. And then some really personal things happened and she got like went into a pretty deep depression and had written this like other album that was really kind of dark and like mysterious. And she ended up committing suicide before that album released. But her manager was like, we have this whole album written, like we need to like release it. And then like Melissa became Avril Lavigne. And like that's why she had such a huge shift in the way she sounded, in the way she looked. Like if you do the side by side, they don't look anything alike. And I know what you're all thinking. She probably got work done. Well, maybe, but it's like the symmetry of the faces are like different, like completely different.
Of like now?
Yeah.
Or
like if you look at 2003 Avril and then like 2008 Avril even, it's like different people.
Huh.
And like I
but
feel
that
like
could be a double, but I'm talking about like now. Like
well, I think it's been Melissa now for like the last 15 to 20 years.
no, I'm saying what if she like was like so much in hiding that like in 2008 that was the double, but what if she's still alive and like still
I don't know.
She's not dead. I don't think she's dead.
I swear, guys,
She's
this
not
is like
dead.
the one that I was like, I could see it.
I just don't think that could be pulled off.
I think it could. She's from Canada. So who knows what happened when she went into like hiding up there.
I just don't know if like a celebrity can like pull that off.
I just feel like to go from Skater Boy and Complicated to the song Girlfriend, those are two different people.
You know, it's life experience. And it's age and it's mature in your looks and your sound. No. I mean, I've done zero research, but
maybe I'll do a lot of research and come back with it. But that's the one conspiracy
all I
theory
can say is she was on Call Her Daddy.
That is crazy.
Yeah.
You know who was just on Call Her Daddy?
Vanderpump.
Yeah. She's so unhinged. She is literally like, I don't care about anybody or anything. Speaking of Vanderpump.
Big news in the Vanderpump world.
Big.
Potentially.
I think potentially the end.
Yeah, I do too.
The last part of the 3-part reunion for Vanderpump Rules season 11 came out last week.
Yeah.
And it was pretty crazy because they made the cast watch the last like 5 minutes of the last episode live at the reunion to get their real-time reactions, which I felt was just kind of mean because basically the last 5 minutes, everybody on this cast
talking crap about
trashes Ariana.
Yeah.
And she just has to watch, as she thought a lot of these people were her friends, as they said all these horrible things about her. And then she's like crying. And Andy's like, Ariana, what are your thoughts? And
how are you feeling about that?
I'm really hurt. And that's like it. And I'm like, that's so fair.
Yeah.
I felt so bad for her. They all just like came for her.
I feel like this past season, like obviously it's entertaining.
It is.
I'm going to watch. But I do feel like coming off of like the scandal of last year, a lot of it was like reaching just for like drama. Because like Ariana, it's clear she doesn't want to be there like at all, which rightfully so. And she still is. Like she's still showing up to like these social events that Tom's going to be at and whatever. But like it's still like that's the main thing, and like it's clear that it needs to not be the main thing, but like how do you what else is there? So I felt like it was a little bit of like reaching for like, what are we can't go, like there's like a brick wall. We can't go past this because these two people clearly shouldn't be forced to be social and like be friendly. But that's like what the whole thing is still about, kind of.
I think they were hoping that it would be like an extension of Scandival, and it would still be like a lot of like explosive fighting and like secrets revealed. Yeah. But I think at the end of the day, Ariana was just like, I have no business or reason to be around this man who cheated on me because I don't need anything from him because he won't own up to what he did. And she's like, and I don't want to have a conversation with him where he gives me a fake apology and then it's like this redemption story for him. She's like, I don't need that. Mm-hmm. I'm not on the Tom Sandoval redemptions train. Yeah. And I don't blame her.
Yeah.
Like, he already ruined your life. Yeah. I don't need to be around for you to give me like, I'm sorry.
Yeah, and I feel like
I'm sorry doesn't cover it.
Too many people on this show were like, they were probably getting whispers in their ear from producers too, we need to like encourage this like to like talk and whatever, and so I felt like a lot of people were like trying to get Ariana to do that, and she's like no,
and I loved it.
Tired of it, and then it kind of showed like a lot of, again, at the end of the reunion, you really see some of the characters like True Colors, like it's all about the show and a paycheck. Yeah. They're like, I don't want the show to get canceled, so you need to get over it and talk to Sandoval. And she's like,
this is how I'm making a living. This is how I'm providing for my kid. Yeah. You need to be having a conversation with Tom. And I'm like, no offense, Lala, but if this is how you're only providing for your kid and you're right, like you're basing your paycheck off of all these drama? Other people and their drama, go get an actual
I think it's so unfair to put all that pressure on Ariana. Let her leave the show. You guys continue to make the show. Problem solved.
Done.
Why are they like, the show's gonna get canceled because Ariana's not participating? Yeah. Let her leave. People leave all the time.
Let her leave.
And you can stay and film and make your own drama.
Or just goes to show, if you're going to treat her badly and put that pressure on her and want her to leave and like make her leave because she doesn't want to do it, you just like did exactly what you were hoping not to do.
I don't get it.
I thought Lala was really mean and uncalled for in that last reunion.
Lala just made it all, it suddenly became all about Lala.
She's like, I didn't get sympathy when this, and this happened. And I'm like, it's because you wouldn't let him on the show. Yeah. He wasn't on the show. I didn't see it. Yeah. Like, I don't care.
Yeah. No offense. This was like two main characters of the show had to blow up. This was like your secret whatever.
Yeah. You wouldn't let anybody talk about him for the first 30 seasons you were on the show.
For how like upset Lala was after that happened.
I thought it was hypocritical.
I did too. I'm like,
so much.
This is like 3 to 4 months after this happened to Ariana, and you're
lecturing her about not like opening her life up on the show.
You like were mad that Schwartz was playing pickleball with him. I'm like, these people are having they're hanging out with Sandoval.
Whenever anyone was like, Lala, I think you're dating a married man, she literally said, I have no idea what you're talking about, and denied. Yeah. And made everyone seem like they were just completely lying, to then at the reunion being like, oh yeah, I totally was. Mm-hmm. I'm like, dude, you weren't sharing any part of your real life. But anyway, I think the show is donezo. I honestly think Lisa Vanderpump wants it to be done.
I think
I don't think she wants to be there anymore either.
I don't think there's anything else that I think it's had a good run. Mm-hmm. It was a great reality show.
Great.
And I think this would be a good time for them to like close a chapter. And then we have The Valley. The Valley was really good. Yeah. And then Summer House is kind of popping off too. Yeah. So.
And then there's like 30 other shows that we just haven't watched yet.
That's only 2.
That's only other few shows. Yeah. And they're going to start filming Real Housewives of Salt Lake City.
Yeah, Salt Lake City. So. Lisa also has, I think it's on Hulu though, the Vanderpump Villa.
And it's so funny because so many of my friends who I've like talked to Vanderpump Rules about, like I've been telling everybody basically that's come in contact with me for the last year to watch this show. None of them have really watched it besides Asia and my roommate Natalie. Like those are the only 2 people who have watched it from start to finish. Yeah. And now I have all these other people being like, Lucy, you would be so proud of me. I watched Vanderpump Villa. And it's so funny because I haven't seen it yet. Uh-huh. And it's on Hulu. I watched
a few, but then I forgot about it.
And it's basically Vanderpump Rules, but house version.
It's like a house in
hotel.
Another country. Like
I think it's in Italy or France.
Yeah, one of those, but
might be in the French.
They like hire. Yeah, there's like bartenders. Like kind of like a below deck feel where like they're hired for like there's like the maids, the stew, like not the stew, but the cooks.
Maid.
Yeah, and then they all like live there for whatever, and it's these really like luxury
rentals.
And of course there's like drama and whatnot, but
I need to watch it because that's the one I
did like it when because I watched it when it first came out and then I forgot.
Fair. And then the finale of Summer House also happened this last week, where we finally saw the end of Lindsay and Carl's engagement.
The breakup convo.
The breakup of the engagement. And I thought that was a fantastic episode.
Yeah, it was.
Like, it gave me pretty much everything I needed.
Yeah.
And I'm here to say I am not either Team Carl nor Lindsay, but I am Team Paige DeSarbo. And I will agree with everything Paige says.
Yeah,
all
Paige,
the time.
I feel like Paige and pretty much Amanda.
Yeah,
they have calling it as it is. They're not really like, oh, this person's wrong and this person's right. It's like, here's what I'm seeing that's not factual.
Yeah,
and they're gonna call it out.
Mm-hmm. And Sierra, like all three of them are like my ride or die girls.
Yeah,
in that show, but I just could not believe because what happened was last summer, all the news broke that Lindsay and Carl had called off their engagement and Carl broke things off. Mm-hmm. And it was like 6 weeks before the wedding, 2 weeks before the wedding, something.
I think it was 2 months.
2 months before the wedding. That's exactly right. And basically Lindsay went on kind of like, oh my gosh, what am I thinking? Like PR rampage where she got on every interview she could. She spoke her mind as much as she could and said, I was blindsided by Carl calling off the engagement. I had no idea. Like, we were so happy. Da, 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 da. And I don't know why she would have done this because
we all watched the entire season.
The two of them were fighting.
They were fighting on the first weekend.
Like, she was so rude to him. And I think he started doing petty little comebacks and like, because she was, and so I just like cannot understand where she was like, I was so blindsided. Like, you guys fought all summer.
Every single weekend. You're not like, you're living together, not sleeping in the same room.
Yeah.
Not speaking to each other for days.
Yeah.
What like, blindside is that? Like,
I'm like, sister.
I think, it's annoying because flip-flopping from like Vanderpump to Summer House, it's clear that she's trying to make it like an Ariana. Because Ariana like rose from the ashes kind of a thing. Like she
deals after deals.
Yeah, like crazy. She was on Dancing with the Stars. Like was
Broadway.
on Broadway. Chicago. Like all this stuff. And like got so much like love from everybody. And I think Lindsay was like, "This is my chance.
This is gonna be
I'm gonna be the art." And we were talking about it in the car yesterday. Like literally, the problems. They broke up because they had issues. There was no third party issue. There was no cheating. There was no like issue other than they couldn't communicate.
Yeah. And so
you're not the victim in this.
No. I like feel really bad because like it is awful to have like an engagement and get it like broken off and like be in the public eye. Like I can't imagine that would be mortifying. But you said it best yesterday where you were like, she does not see anything besides her perspective.
Yes.
Like, I guarantee she probably watched this season and even still was like...
She was like, oh.
I thought we were in love. And I'm like, literally, he's, 4 or 5 years sober. She called him like... She's like, you're doing coke. Like,
this is cocaine,
This is
Carl.
like, you're not sober. And he's like, I am. Like, she questioned his sobriety.
Yeah.
Every time he had a business idea,
she shot
was
it down.
Like, this is a bad idea. Like, this is terrible. And then also while saying, I want a man who's going to be motivated and like have a future life and like be this, and this. And she's like, I don't want to work. Like, I want to have kids right away. Like, I think they had deep, deep issues. And I think Carl rushed a lot of things under the rug because it was like his best friend for 8 years and he loved the idea of marrying his best friend.
Yeah.
but like she lives in her delusion.
Yeah.
And I almost respect her for it because no one can break through that.
No.
Like if you're not understanding her side either, you're gone. Like she's throwing you to the wolves.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it
And
was.
it's
Something Amanda
frightening.
said in one of like the post show. Like she was like she was essentially blindsided because she believes the delusion so much that like there's no way that she has any fault in this.
Yeah.
Like her perspective is the only one.
Crazy.
Like she had so whatever she is seeing, she's it's fact for her. And that I can't imagine how frustrating it is to try to have
Like
a
break through
have
that.
a conversation and be like, are you seeing that we fight every day?
All summer, the only person I fought with in this house of 9 people was my fiance.
Yeah.
That is an issue.
Yeah, I think the biggest probably place that I do fault Carl is he did know her for 8 years and she's always been like this. She's literally always been like that.
Yeah.
Like she has had a falling out with every other friend in the house.
Yeah.
And that's a red flag. And he still proposed and then broke up with her that close before the wedding, but he was probably feeling the pressure that the wedding was close and was like, it's easier to end an engagement than a marriage.
Which, so smart.
So true.
So glad he
But
did
I'm
that.
just like, if you knew this.
Yeah. He should have, at the end of the day, he should have never proposed to her.
No.
And I wonder if like that on the other side, like I wonder if producers were kind of like, yo, like, you know, it would make a good season finale. Like you should propose.
Yeah.
Like you can do it on camera. You'd have this memorial, like this entire thing,
True.
like to remember. I know if I was on a show like that, I would do whatever the producers wanted me to. If they were like,
That's
Lucy, like think of how cool it would be if you.
They're like, go.
If you
he's
like
like talking
set
to
fire
another
to
girl,
the
like go
house.
fight, go see what they're doing.
100%. I'd be like,
okay,
you're so right. I'll do that.
I wonder what it's like to be a
Absolutely.
producer on those
Like,
shows. Like,
I would be their ideal candidate because I would do whatever they wanted, but also vice versa. I would be a great producer.
Yeah.
Because I would be like, you guys, come on, like just think of how crazy it would be if like, or I'd be like, yeah, like think she just said that about you. Are you gonna stand for that? Go in there, man.
like, where's your boyfriend? You should go find him in the house.
I heard he's talking to another girl.
I heard he's like up in somebody's room. You should go find him.
I would like be the best on either end of it.
Oh man.
I just
like it has to be the producers because like why would you have a
has to
conversation
be.
like in the middle of a party? They're like, all right, let's go hash this out.
We better go sit by the pool.
Let's go hash this out in the middle of this party while everyone's watching us. Like, no, if I'm fighting with someone, I'm waiting till the party is over,
100%.
done, and then we're fighting.
100%. And I think that's where they're so dumb because they do have like these blown out fights in front of everybody. And then Carl's like really hurt and like they don't resolve anything. And he like yells at her and then she yells at him. And then she goes back and just like
Parties.
picks up where the party left off.
I think
if my partner did that,
oh my God,
I
yeah.
would be so
I think-
much angrier. I would be like, how can you like
that's a different I've noticed with him being sober because obviously he's not using I mean alcohol's involved for her. He's like sitting in that emotion for the rest of the night and you can like literally see it.
like he leaves borderline and like just goes to his room for like like
but
an hour or
I'm
two.
like that. Like if somebody
would-
if I'm like fighting with someone, I'm like, again, why I would wait till the end of the party. I'm like not okay. So like I don't want to be social. I don't I'm like I can't just like flip the switch.
Not
and
at all.
I see that with him and then with her. She can't. She's like, okay, bye, I'm gonna go hang out with my friends and like it's annoying.
And that would fuel my fire.
Yeah.
1,000%. Like if I was really sad and then I saw that, I would get angrier and angrier and angrier until I blew up yet again.
Yeah.
And so
and then watching them like pack or like
silence.
it's just like you can feel the tension. You're just like because like Carl wants to say something. But she's like probably drunk coming off of the party like at the end of the night. And then the next morning it's still silent. They're packing, getting ready to go, and still no one's saying anything.
And I think, too, if I were him, this is honestly, like, for any couples that ever fight sometimes, like, all I ever want is for them to shut up, because she is like the perfect example of like a couple who's like, everybody knows there's like a tiff and there's like tension between them.
Yeah.
And then she'll say like a snide comment as a funny joke in front of the whole group that like you can visibly see Carl's like irritation with it.
Yeah.
And like, oh my gosh, if I was like a part, like whenever any couple you're around does that, you just want to be like, shut up, like stop, like it's not worth that.
Because like they all need to be involved.
No, I'm like, please stop talking.
Don't involve us.
Please. Because they were leaving to go back to New York, and Lindsay, like in front of the whole house, was like, yeah, does anybody want to ride with Carl? Because like I'm not. And I'm like, oh my gosh, why would you say that?
It just, it makes it
just, like,
awkward. And then it makes Carl feel humiliated.
Yeah,
like
and
so
I'm like,
dumb.
It's like another like slight dig that you like didn't need to do. Or she's like, yeah, I'm going to ride with Danielle back. And she's like, does anybody want to go with Carl? Because he's by himself. And I'm like, oh my gosh, like, stop doing that. You don't need to say it. It's just so awkward.
Yeah.
Oh my
all in all,
gosh.
it's good they're not getting married.
So
that would have been a disaster. So at the end of the day, like I think it's better for both of them. But
I'm really excited for the reunion.
The reunion is, it's coming
they're
up.
They're going to be like side by side with Andy in the middle, mediating between the two.
Yeah.
And I'm pumped to see kind of like how it plays out. I'm also really interested if both of them go back to the house this summer.
Yeah, that'll be
because they've got to start filming soon. Well, 4th of July is when they start. So in like a month usually, because the 4th of July weekend's always like that first weekend there. Through Labor Day.
I thought it was sooner than that.
No. What a dream.
It's not Memorial Day?
No.
I swear they're there for Memorial Day.
I promise.
Oh, that's crazy.
And I'm like, what a dream. All they do is, like, they film on the weekends for 2 months.
Yeah.
What an easy gig.
Yeah.
Like, you only have to film for 2 months out of the year on the weekends. Just July and August, because then they're done by Labor Day.
Yeah.
And I'm like, wow, that's a nice paycheck to cash. How do I get on that show?
Well, for now, because at the beginning, they were still working their other jobs, too.
Yeah, that's true. And they're probably still working even, but like, there's no way they can do that full time, I don't think.
No. Crazy.
There's no way anybody on those shows, I think, can do that full time. That's why all those like housewives are married to very successful dudes. That's another thing. I do find it kind of crazy. I think some of these housewives that are on these TV shows are either the dumbest people I've ever met
or the smartest.
Because I think... Because on the Real House of New Jersey, like there's a woman on there and her husband does some shady business stuff. And I'm like, why would you go on this show if you know?
Jen, though.
Exactly.
This is like Jen. Why?
Exactly.
What are you doing?
I'm like, you two like both had to have known like there were some weird stuff that would likely come up. But then I'm like, I wonder if they did it almost strategically because they were like, the money I'll get from this show and like air quality for when I eventually likely have to go to jail. Like, we'll pay for it. And I'm just like, I don't understand your thought process of like why you would go on this show. Because there's like one on the Real Housewives of New Jersey that like, I think her husband went to jail and she might have also, I haven't gotten to it yet. But I think she like also like leaves her husband. And I'm like, that's crazy because I don't know. I'm just like, it's interesting. The people who choose to go on these shows are like not normal.
Yeah.
But I guess
like laundry to not be aired out.
And I'm like, why would you do this? Your laundry is there for the whole world to see. We're like, if your marriage, that's what I always think about Jesse and Michelle on The Valley. They're like on the brink of divorce. I'm like, why would you do this show?
Literally.
Like
the show,
so bad
if
for
anything,
you
is
too.
not going to make your marriage stronger. I'll tell you that.
No. So we've really talked about Bravo. We don't even need to. We're not even going to do. What else are we going to talk about?
Anyways, if you haven't watched any of these shows, highly recommend. Because, also, again, we just talked for half an hour about these shows.
You're getting the entire lowdown from us. So you don't even need to watch them at this point. If there's any other shows that you want me and Asia's opinions on,
to deep
please
dive.
let us know.
Yeah.
We've heard maybe Scandal we could commit to. And people want to know our thoughts on the show Scandal.
With Kerry Washington?
Yeah.
I actually went through a big Scandal phase, I think like in high school, college-ish.
Whoa.
So I've seen a lot, and it's pretty I like shows that like each episode, it was kind of like how CSI was. Like each episode is like a crime. They solve it. And then
I love shows like that.
So that's like Scandal. Like each episode, there's like story that kind of weaves throughout the whole series. Like she's involved with the president of the United States.
I thought it was like a Grey's Anatomy situation. Which I mean, I guess is actually the same because at each episode of Grey's Anatomy, there's
similar.
Cases.
So like each episode is like a case, and she has to like either cover it up or like figure out, and so it's pretty interesting.
Fair.
I did like it for a while, so
I
don't know how many seasons there are.
I think there's like 10. I know it's a big commitment for us.
Yeah, I never finished it, so I don't know if she ever ended up with the president or not.
I have a hard time with like the hour-long dramas, as I just spoke for 40 minutes about hour-long reality TV show. But like, I got into The Vampire Diaries, Grey's Anatomy, How to Get Away with Murder, and like every single one, I only make it like max 4 seasons in, and then I'm like, I have to stop.
Yeah, I usually will get like really sucked in for a bit, and then all of a sudden there's a switch that turns off, and I'm like,
I can't watch
same thing.
I
did Vampire Diaries, never finished. How to Get Away with Murder, never finished. Scandal, never finished.
No,
Grey's
never finished.
Not currently watching.
Criminal Minds, never finished. Grey's I never finished. Grey's I made it up until Derek died.
Yeah, I was current for a while, and
then
I
was like, I'm done.
After, to be truthful, after working on a COVID floor and then all the show, like I was like,
so
I'm not.
valid.
No,
I can't do this.
I'm not doing that.
I'm not taking
and
this
I
home
haven't
with
bounced
me.
back from that, to be honest.
Pretty valid. Well,
yeah,
we love TV recommendations. We'll watch them and review them for you.
Yeah.
We are doing a worst breakup episode. And so
write
submit
'em in.
those to us. It'll be similar to like the worst first dates.
It'll be cathartic too.
Yeah.
Like write it out, let it out.
Normalize getting rejected.
It happens to everybody.
It does. So if you're the one that got rejected, if you rejected someone and maybe they reacted very poorly, like give it to us. We want all the details about it. So write those in. And then if you guys have any other like burning questions for me and Asia, write them in.
Yeah. What do you want to know?
I hope you have a lovely Wednesday when you're listening to this.
Oh, yes.
Or Tuesday night.
Or any of your day of the week.
But we will
catch you next time.
Bye.